I fell behind. Yesterday was a busy day. Um, it's graduation season, so we fell behind. But I'm catching up. I'll make up for it tonight. Um, I'll do a chunk. Here we go. For starters, man, I adore this movie, and this film is really hard to come by on 4K Blu-ray, but I managed to import it. It's Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese's absolute masterpiece about the the tragic murders of indigenous people in Oklahoma for their oil rights, with Leonardo DiCaprio and the brilliant Lily Gladstone and Robert De Niro and Jesse Plemons and so many fantastic performances. And what an extraordinary film. And we saw it. This is one of those I've been talking about, this kind of a picture, one of those masterpieces where you just have to go take your medicine. You have to, when Scorsese drops a movie, you go and you see it, because it's going to see a master at his craft, and seeing these guys do their work. And it may be hard, but it's an important film. And so I had bought this film from the now most 4Ks, 4K DVDs internationally are region free, but for whatever reason, this film, if you bought it from most distributors from overseas, were region B locked. But this company called 4Cult, 4KULT, if you bought it from Eagle Distributing, this particular disc is region free, but it's the only one that's region free. So if you want Killers of the Flower Moon on 4K, because it's a limited edition through Apple Films, they're not releasing this on 4K. It's only going to be available to stream. And it's one of the challenges of streaming that I find so frustrating, is that if you want to have your own copy, I mean, I was howling about this a couple days ago that, the series I was on, Richie Rich, is no longer available on Netflix. And if you want to see it now, you're out of luck. It was only available on Netflix. And unless you ripped it or downloaded it, over the 10 years that it was there, you could watch it. But now it is gone forever, until they decide to either bring it back, or someone ripped it, or they release it on DVD, which they won't do. So that's it. It's in an archive. So that's why I feel very strongly about hunting down films that resonate with me, or mean something, or have significance, or have value to me as a student of film, or as a lover of film, or collector of film. And Killers of the Flower Moon was one of those movies. And I had such a visceral reaction to it in the theater. I didn't cry during the movie until the very end. And it was when Martin Scorsese was reading the eulogy at the very end, before the final shot, and the whole weight of everything just absolutely washed over me, and I was a wreck. But watching everything unfold, like, you're in the middle of it, and it was moving and sad and enraging, but it didn't affect me in that way until there was this aesthetic distance of this like sort of radio play that they did with Jack White and Scorsese, and like sound effects and everything of like the beginning of the U.S. Marshals or the FBI. Yeah, brilliant movie. What's up, Master Alonzo? Thanks for jumping on. It's so good to see you, man. So that's Killers of the Flower Moon on 4K. Amazing film. And let's go on to our next picture. This one by Stanley Kubrick, The Killing. I had not seen this ever, but just felt like I needed to catch up with this film because I was like, there's a gap in my Kubrick knowledge. Let me tell you, what a film. This is set at a horse racetrack, and it's a heist picture with a bunch of really down on their luck dudes. And, Kubrick directed Spartacus, but if you watch Spartacus, you could see it's really a studio picture, and it doesn't feel like a Kubrick film. This feels like a Kubrick film. The way Paths of Glory does, the way Lolita does, even the way, like, Dr. Strangelove does in terms of, like, composition and that kind of thing. So The Killing is it's just dynamite in that, like, I would compare it to, Rafifi, in a lot of ways, which is a brilliant French heist picture. Also, like, just absolutely bonkers. And it's on Criterion. If you have Criterion Channel or have the disc, Rafifi is one of the best, most intense, like, just incredible heist films. And, like, if you're new to, like, French cinema or kind of movies from the 50s and 60s, like, don't be afraid. Like, they're so dynamic and engaging and easy to engage with. I mean, we watch just about everything now with subtitles. We watched Andor with subtitles. We watch Hacks with subtitles. I just don't want to miss the jokes. Sometimes, like, the things get, some things are mumblecore. Like, you just miss jokes. So I watch everything with closed captioning on. Plus, we'll watch stuff on BritBox, and it's like sometimes, like, an Irish cop show, you're just missing stuff. And we're watching Mobland, like, we're watching with subtitles. So don't be afraid of subtitles, man. Check out Rafifi, but definitely check out The Killing. Sterling Holloway leads this thing, and he played the... I mentioned him earlier in another film that we were looking at that I talked about recently that eludes me. Doesn't matter. In a previous recommendation. But he's just a real, like, tough guy, down on his luck. But the way the movie looks, it's so, like, super high contrast, and the framing is great. When I'm done with this reel, I'm going to put The Killing on, and I'll go live and show some shots. Because it's so good and so overlooked. Just great Kubrick, blue-collar crime movie. Like, you look to The Godfather, you look to Goodfellas for great crime drama, but it's great to look back at some of these other pictures and feel that kind of, like, transition from early noir, like White Heat and Angels with Dirty Faces and Roaring Twenties, films like that, and Double Indemnity, and then getting to Goodfellas, and these are movies like The Killing and The Train and Maltese Falcon. All these things are like points along that line getting us to the movies that Coppola and Scorsese made. So it's so satisfying to intersect with those films and see where things are on that trajectory. When you see a movie like Cape Fear or Night of the Hunter, and you connect to, like, Robert Mitchum and see, like, the kind of crazy stuff he was doing back in the day, it's a blast. So check out Stanley Kubrick's The Killing. Kino Lorber Studio Classics. They did a beautiful job with that transition. Okay, next one might be a bit of a surprise. Right next to The Killing, Kong Skull Island. I have a real soft spot for this movie for a couple reasons. First of all, one of my motion capture sort of mentors, a guy named Terry Notary, who happens to be teaching a workshop on June 13, 14, and 15 at their dance studio in Sherman Oaks-ish, very close to there. Check out, just follow Terry Notary on Instagram, at Terry Notary, Terry, Terry, Notary, N-O-T, like a notary, when you go to a notary to get something notarized, Terry Notary. He played King Kong here, did the motion capture, and he's a brilliant performance artist, brilliant acting coach and movement coach. And he's been in Call of the Wild. He played the dog in Call of the Wild. He played Baby Groot. He played, so many things. Rocket in the Planet of the Apes films, the Matt Reeves Planet of the Apes pictures. He just did a ton of work in the Electric State. And he's a great teacher and a great guy. And he's a tremendous ape performer, in particular in Kong Skull Island. Another buddy of mine, Mark Evan Jackson, is in Kong Skull Island, and my buddy Josh Funk is also in this, and it's fun to see those guys get killed by King Kong. Tom Hiddleston is really good in this, as is Brie Larson, and John C. Reilly and Sam Jackson and John Goodman. And it's a King Kong movie, like, set in the 60s, post-Vietnam. Like, it's a disaster movie that's doing more than just King Kong destroying stuff. There's a lot of great monsters. It's directed by Jordan Vogt Roberts, who really brings a fun style to all of this. It's kind of I really loved Kong Skull Island. I wish I had seen it in the theater. I just never was able to catch up to it. It's when you're a father of small kid, and it makes it tough to get to see harder films. You got to get a babysitter. You got to get, so like there's this pocket of time where most of the movies we saw were kid movies, and I'm so blessed to have done that, because some of these wonderful kid movies resonated and impressed me in such a marvelous way. Like this one, it's by Leica, KUBO and the Two Strings. Yeah, this is by Leica. It took my kid to go see this one. Jeez. I mean, this is all stop motion animation. Of course, I believe it's Scarlett Johansson and Matthew McConaughey are the two strings, are the parents. The vocal performances are terrific, but like a deeply moving film and just breathtaking animation. Me and my daughter were twisted upside down and backwards in tears in the movie, and really, really beautiful technical accomplishment. My daughter's wants to be a professional animator and is going to be studying that and has been studying that. So animation has been a mad part of our lives, and that's part of the reason why this is in my collection, as is the great Kung Fu Panda. We had missed this in the theater. I bought it on DVD when we got like the 3D player. LG had this terrific, this was back in, we were living in Chicago still. My daughter couldn't have been more than a year and a half old, and I got Kung Fu Panda on DVD or Blu-ray, 3D Blu-ray. And it became part of our good night show. And we would watch a little bit of Kung Fu Panda every single night before bedtime. And the scene that we would watch, Tai Lung was a little bit too scary. So we would watch the scene at the end where Po would fight Tai Lung, and it was comic. So there were like these scenes where he would do the wushu finger hold, and it was about like just these specific chapters that we would watch. The opening sequence, the different animation. She just loved Kung Fu Panda. So we watched like certain chapters before bed every single night. So this movie is burned into our heads, and that's a big part of it. What's up, Darren Bailey? Good to see you. Gave you a shout out earlier, I believe, talking about Kong Skull Island and what Terry Notary is doing. But yeah, Kung Fu Panda is... I don't know a time when this wasn't in my collection because the kid has been watching it forever. Master Alonso had popped in earlier for a moment, and, you know, our kid learned Taekwondo from Master Alonso from age 4 to age like 13. And Kung Fu Panda has kind of, heck yeah, man. The Silverbacks hauling artillery doing quadrifit, baby. So yeah, there you go. Kung Fu Panda. Man, I still have not finished this, and I know it's everybody's favorite. I bought this movie because Sherry started studying puppetry with the Jim Henson Company, and I've watched scenes of it. I was too late to it when I was growing up. Like, I just missed it. But Jim Henson's Labyrinth, I know, is everybody's favorite movie. It did not connect with me at all. And I have it because I feel like I need to have it in some respects. And I watched it, but like the baby dance thing, I just don't get it, y'all. I don't get it. I still have it because of the supplementals. I have it because of the behind the scenes. I love David Bowie. I think Jennifer Connelly is amazing, but I think she was a horrible babysitter. And sometimes the practical effects of movies like Labyrinth give me I see these images in fever dreams when I'm sick, and they haunt me. Like, this movie lives in the same place as Ridley Scott's Legend, which I like, but more because there's flying things in the air. But I don't love Labyrinth. I suppose I need to sit down and finish it. I'm sorry, but I do have it. It's part of my collection. And this is also, this is an import from, where did I import this from? Italy, maybe. But there you go. Labyrinth in the collection. Because it's important to somebody. It's the 30th anniversary, so there's a lot of supplementals. Okay, so I want to learn from it. All right, there you go. This film, however, I very much appreciate. You can see, and I'm sure you've seen in the background, the movie poster on our wall for The Lady from Shanghai. I can't believe that they released this, that Columbia released the 4K for this film. Orson Welles, Rita Hayworth. Orson Welles wrote and directed this film. The Lady from Shanghai is a forgotten gem. It is an evil little movie. When we were choosing the artwork for our walls, we have The Wolfman, Metropolis by Fritz Lang, and then The Lady from Shanghai. And what you don't see here on the... Sherry, what does it say? It says, I told you you know nothing about wickedness. Rita Hayworth has a line, I told you know nothing about wickedness. It was that line that made Sherry go, yes, that is the movie poster I want on my wall. And I was like, yes, I'm down with having a beautiful picture of Rita Hayworth on our wall. She has this short blonde hair, and she's not a blonde. It's an extraordinary film. There's Orson Welles is doing a bad Irish dialect throughout the film. But man, the finale of that picture is unbelievable. The Lady from Shanghai is a if you've never seen it, put it on your list. Darren, put it on your list. It's great. Okay. Next. I have this film because I'm in it. I also think it's super charming. I have not watched it since we went to go see it in the theater, but I absolutely need to have it because I'm in it. I'm so proud of being a part of La La Land. If you have seen the film, you may have blinked and missed my contribution to it. I play the friendly barista. When at the coffee shop that Emma Stone worked at, and the lady who's working there is evil to her, and then she quits, and then she comes back at the end of the picture, and she's famous, and I give her the coffee for free, and then she tips generously, and I'm like, oh, thank you. It's a quick moment, but it was still satisfying. So I'm very proud to be a small part of La La Land, and yeah, we shot this on the Warner Brothers lot. And it's been super cool to go back to Warner Brothers and to still see the coffee shop. Still, like, I don't think that they've repainted it. We're going to do the Warner Brothers tour this coming week, so I'll be able to find out if it's been dressed or changed since the last time. What's up, Tui? Good to see you. Talking about La La Land, brother. But yeah, man, it was a great day on set. And Emma Stone is as advertised, dude. She's just delightful, and like most folks that I've worked with on set have just been some of the most down to earth, warm, friendly people. And she was great. All right, piling through, dude. Hal Ashby directed this terrific film, The Last Detail. This is Jack Nicholson, Randy Quaid. Man, Gilda Radner is in this. Freaking Carol Kane. Oh my God, who's the actor? Who else is in it? This movie is like just a portrait of New York in the late 60s. Nicholson plays this naval MP who has to escort Randy Quaid to the brig after he's like stolen $40, and he's going to go to military prison for 6 years. And what's up, Mikey Daddy? And it just seems like an overcorrection, and he thinks it's wrong. And it's a road picture, and it's late 60s, early 70s, and it was a big inspiration for Alexander Payne's movie, The Holdovers. And that was one of the reasons why I got The Last Detail. Part of the reason being, again, it's like this movie that lives in that space of like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, like being there, like Midnight Cowboy, like just kind of these snapshots, the French Connection, these snapshots of these of that era and that time, and these actors. We went down this rabbit hole of just kind of not necessarily Jack Nicholson worship, but Jack Nicholson admiration, and kind of really taking in the kind of actor he is, and appreciating the work that he did, both later in his career and early. And yeah, The Last Detail is an important picture from that in that respect. Okay. Next one. Boy. Ridley Scott's The Last Duel. This was showing in Australia. It was showed all over the world. But while we were in Australia shooting Young Rock, I was talking about this in the makeup trailer with Stacey Leilua one day. She had seen it and said it was really good. And I meant to go see it, and it just slipped through the cracks. So, but I filed it away, and then when I got back to the States, I really paid closer attention to it, watched the trailer, and then was like, oh shit, I should check this out. It's Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Jodie Comer, Adam Driver, directed by Ridley Scott, and it is fantastic. It is, it's basically, it's a true story, and it's like Rashomon, but at a time where a woman claims to have been raped by a man who's like a knight, and Matt Damon is her husband, and he challenges the man who his wife says raped her, and it's like the first time that the duel, or it's literally the last time that a duel happened, I guess. I don't know exactly the history. I'm not doing a great job explaining that, but the film and the execution of the film and the performances, spectacular film. I need to listen to the soundtrack. I forgot about it. But, man, if you haven't seen it, catch up with it. It's bloody, it's gory, but boy, is it good. Damon is terrific. It does parallel Rob Roy. Good call, John. And Rob Roy is really beautiful looking. In that picture, if you haven't seen it, that's Liam Neeson, Jessica Lange, Tim Roth, Scottish Highlands, But Last Duel is a trip. Definitely worth checking out. In preparation of doing this, I took my medicine and finally watched The Last Picture Show. Peter Bogdanovich, Timothy Bottoms, Sybil Shepherd, Jeff Bridges. Man, what a picture. I've had this in my collection because of this, the Columbia box set that I keep referencing. And it is so stinking good. Like I said, I just had it. And I wasn't the world's biggest Peter Bogdanovich fan. Sherry turned me onto him with Paper Moon. And she was like, if you'd never seen Paper Moon, and I hadn't, she was like, that movie, Sherry, when did you first see Paper Moon? Did you see it in the DIA or something, or?
I just rented it once and watched it years ago.
She just rented it and watched it in the great,
it's a classic.
Yeah, it is a classic, and it needed to be seen. If you haven't seen Paper Moon, because I hadn't, Tatum O'Neal and Ryan O'Neal.
Paper Moon is one of those movies I have a list of movies that if you haven't seen this movie, then you haven't seen movies. Paper Moon is on that list. If you haven't seen Paper Moon, then you haven't watched a movie. You've just been fucking around.
So, if you didn't hear that, she said Paper Moon is one of those movies that if you haven't seen it, you haven't seen movies, you've just been fucking around. So, from my wife to your face, well, Tui agrees with you, Sherry, on Paper Moon. I mean, what a soundtrack. And God, Tatum O'Neal. Remember to add Bogdanovich's first film, Targets, to your list. Okay. I've never seen Targets. Done. I will check that out, Darren. Thank you for the rec. Yeah, I need to. His style is really great, and boy, was The Last Picture Show terrific. Really moving, and God, Sybil Shepherd was just freaking incredible in it. Everybody was. All right, 3 more, and then we'll wrap up. This is why I bought that box set in the first place. Lawrence of Arabia, David Lean's masterpiece. I had never seen it in its entirety until recently. I had seen bits and pieces, bibs and bobs. It had been on television. It had been here and there. I'd seen clips. I'd seen the cut to the desert. I'd seen shots. I'd seen the sweeping things. I'd seen montages and tributes. I'd seen all of that, but I'd never sat down and taken from overture through intermission to final credits. Never. And then the Aero Theater does, and American Cinematheque here in Los Angeles will do a 70 millimeter presentation of Lawrence of Arabia in its entirety, maybe twice a year. And we were living in Santa Monica, pre-pandemic, and I decided, all right, I'm going to go take my medicine and go see this film. And went at a 7 o'clock showing, and came out at 11 a different person. I That movie transcended filmmaking, and I can't explain it. It was like going to see an opera, or was like going to see the greatest piece of theater I'd ever seen. Like, it was just something so completely different from anything I'd ever experienced in a cinema before. At the end of it, we all stood and applauded, and it was like we applauded, each other. We applauded ourselves for the feat of enduring a 4-hour film together. We applauded the technical achievement, the physical achievement. We applauded the fact that Peter O'Toole didn't drink himself completely to death making it. It is criminal that Peter didn't win Best Actor. He was unbelievable. And so is Omar Sharif, and so is Alec Guinness. And God, there are still scenes in that film I think about the moment and I just get choked up and cry. And like, we would watch it on TV and see, like, it would just be on. And like the scene after they're in God's Anvil, and Peter, Lawrence takes the young man into the club, and the British generals are like, well, he can't come into this club. Who is he? And Peter's like, he's my friend. And out of context, it's like, yeah, he's his friend. What's wrong with you? But in context, like, if you haven't seen Lawrence of Arabia, in that presentation, I would say, like, seek it out on the big screen if you can. And if you know that it's playing here and you're not in Los Angeles, plan a trip around it. It's that significant of an event. It's truly worth it. What's up, Ted? Good to see you, man. All right. That's Lawrence of Arabia. That's why it's here. I have it. I could put it up in the backyard. It's still not the same. But it's still, like, I want to be able to, like, man, and then the end, like the messianic stuff, like the Christ complex that he has, like he's such a hero, and then he becomes something else. It's fucking great. Okay, all right. This is Out of Place. So one of the things that I want to say about my collection, how I have my collection sorted, is you'll notice that I haven't had any Marvel or DC films that I've talked about so far, any franchises whatsoever. I have them set aside in another thing. Once I get through all these one-offs, then I'll get into the franchises, then we'll do Blu-ray. Even though we're in the L's, don't worry, there's plenty more to talk about. But I also have the Criterion films set aside. Are they at the end of this? They are. So this one is Out of Place. So I'll skip over that for now and move that into the right place. So the last one we're going to talk about tonight is another disc by Arrow. This movie is so wild, but talk about some of the most dynamic of a modern filmmaker who's doing exciting things with the camera. Robert Eggers and The Lighthouse. Robert Pattinson has become one of my favorite young new actors. Criminally overlooked for his work in The Lighthouse. Standing in the shadow, of course, of Willem Dafoe. Just turning in a mad pirate of a performance. We watched this film, I think we were streaming it. And, hey, just in time for talks about Lighthouse, Zachary Nathanson dropped by, our resident BioShock Infinite fan. Good to see you. The Lighthouse is amazing. In every place there is a lighthouse. But this film is just mind-blowing. And talk about a movie about obsession and isolation and... Man, no worries, Johnny. Great to see you, brother. We'll see you soon. Take care. Much love to the twins. And this picture just... every shot looks like it's a wood carving. Like, just so fascinating. No kidding. That totally makes sense, Darren. Darren, tell me, did you direct the Thaw, what was your role with the Thaw? The wet plate photography design. Talk to me on that, because like, because I remember with both the campaign and the style of everything, yeah, it totally is a horror film in disguise. Like the horror, it's a horror movie in that, like that psychological horror film way. And it does, like you want to just look away from it. And like you're with Robert Pattinson, his madness. But like, God, when he's looking up there and Defoe is, you know, obsessed with that light and the obsession. Oh, it's just fantastic. You could, that movie smells, you know? I'm just holding for Darren to type everything he did on the Thaw, because he was actively involved. Darren's worked on a short film called The Thaw that has a very similar look and feel to The Lighthouse. And I'll share the link. Darren was a producer, stunt coordinator, VFX supervisor, set in the 1890s and designed to look like wet plate photography of that era. Not straight black and white, but silvery. So cool, man. Awesome. I'll share the link in the notes of this reel. Fantastic. Thank you for that, bro. But yeah, I mean, it's such a cool look, and yeah, man, super cool. So yeah, The Lighthouse. If you haven't seen it, I gotta say, I didn't love Nosferatu, but Robert Eggers' other films like The Norseman and certainly The Witch. The Thaw is on Alter on YouTube. Not to steal attention. No problem. I'm happy to steal attention to plug your movie, bro. Truly. Awesome. I'll track it and throw it on. But yeah, check out The Lighthouse as well. All right. Let me see where I'm at. Am I through the L's? Close enough. This is a good place to call it. That was a lot of movies. It was a lot of talking. Yo, thanks so much for popping in and for contributing tonight, you guys. Dude, The Northman. So, Northman is, I'm going to talk about it probably in a couple weeks because it's coming up. But truly, The Northman is... What Shakespeare, honey? Is it like Hamlet?
Huh?
The Northman? Is it like Hamlet, would you say?
Yeah.
It feels like loosely Hamlet, but it is tremendous. The way that, oh great, Darren shared me a link, so I will I'll post that I'll put that in the comments and put that in the notes here so you can see so you can check out The Thaw. The Northman is The Northman is what it's called. The soundtrack is unbelievable. The way that film is shot, and Alexander Skarsgård's performance is, yeah, it's scary, but it's not a horror the way The Witch is. I wouldn't even say it's a horror the way the Lighthouse is. I don't think Northman is scary. I would say it's creepy. And Björk is like is creepy. She's very witch-like in it, but it doesn't have the texture of a horror film. It's much more of like a revenge thriller, but set among the Vikings and historically authentic. Dude, it's great. It's really, really well done. And the supplementals on the disc are really excellent too. There's a lot of great, just in terms of the commitment by the production team to make it look and feel as authentic as possible. And that part of it is really satisfying. You really do feel like they've really done their homework. Even with Nosferatu, like I was saying, like I felt like I just have issues with the movie, with some of the performances that I don't want to necessarily say publicly because I don't like doing that. But what I appreciate about the film is what it does for the time period and that authenticity. That part of it is very cool. But as a movie, uneven. in my opinion. But there you go. So I'm going to sign off, and I will share Darren's link to the Thaw, and I recommend everyone check it out. And there you go. We'll holler at you guys soon. Going to see Sinners tomorrow night in 70. Can't wait. Peace. Oh, Defoe cited Eggers as one of the most well-researched directors he's ever worked with. Yeah, Darren, like, check out, if you've got the Northman on, and dude, I'd be keen to throw that up and back again, too. Like, even just to watch the supplementals on the disc, it's so cool to see, like, Anna Taylor-Joy talking about it, about, like, working with Eggers again after The Witch. And she's like, these are hard shoots. These are really hard shoots. Like, early call, and we have to travel an hour and a half to set because we're shooting on a fjord. We're shooting on, you know, authentic locations. Yeah, it's study worthy. It really is. And it's really satisfying. Loved it. All right. I'm out. Peace. Physical media forever. Later.